Do you remember anything from last session? Like in the last session, did our introduction. So first of all, I'll do Mangalacharan basically. Om Agyananandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaः. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrovhyasya Kripa Sandubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Yeah, once more. Hare Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So Hare Krishna, very warm welcome to. Okay. So today we are going to start our Nectar of Instruction, verse 1. Is the presentation visible to all of you?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. So in the last session we introduced to each other, and I think we have already 5 people are registered, and I'm waiting for I think 3-4 more people to make the payment and finally register. So we introduced ourselves each other, and then we read the preface. So in the preface, the summary was that without controlling our mind and senses, it is impossible to make any advancement on the spiritual path. And in order to understand the past tense of Radha Krishna, we have to follow in the footsteps of 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, which are first disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Rupa Raghunath Pade Haibe Koti Rama Bhuja Se Yugalu. So in order to follow the footsteps of the Goswamis, we have to understand books they have written, and then we have to scrutinizingly study these books and understand what they are trying to convey. So this Nectar of Instruction is the most basic. It is called bread and butter book. So as it is a Nectar of Instruction. So although people might read entire Bhagavad Gita, but they might not be able to understand what are the specific instructions for them. So this book contains all the instructions in a very, very compact form, in like a capsule form. So this book contains 11 verses. So today we will cover the first verse. And anything else anybody wants to share from last class? Or should we start? Prabhjit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, we see in last class the Nectar of Instruction taught us how to live a healthy life or a very disciplined life.
Yes, yes. So controlling our mind and senses requires discipline and regulation. And that's what we will learn now in from the first verse. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Anything else? Okay, I think the philosophy was very less only in the last session because most of the time we spent in introducing each other. So yeah, so basically the mind and senses should be controlled, and we did a group discussion also that what are the consequences of controlling the mind and not controlling the mind. Like, can you give an example? And then, like, there are so many habits which we were discussing. Somebody was saying YouTube, somebody was saying WhatsApp, somebody was saying his anger problems with his relatives, with his relationships. So like this, basically all of us are conditioned souls, so we are having these challenges. But if we try to read the first words and try to apply it very nicely, then we can overcome these problems slowly. And that's why one more point we came out was that most of the devotees' life should be in mode of goodness. And mode of goodness means, so Prabhupada also writes, if we are in mode of goodness, then everything else which is needed to make further progress will be revealed. So this is how, like, by applying the first words, we come in mode of goodness. So we'll start by reciting this verse. Okay. If anybody wants, you can recite me together with me. So first I will recite, and then you all can recite. Vachavegam manasa krodavegam. Can you recite?
Vachuvegam manasa krodavegam
Jivavegam udaropasthavegam.
divavegam udaropastavegam
Etan vegan yovisheta dhira.
etan vegan yovishyate dhira
Sarvamapi mam prithvim sashishyat.
sarvamapi mam prithivim sashishyat.
Thank you, Prabhu. Deepak. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So basically, there are 6 urges which is being discussed by this verse. First is the urge to speak. Second is manasa vegam, which is urge of demand of the mind. Third is krodh vegam, which is action of the anger. And fourth one is urges of the tongue, jivva vegam. Fifth is urges of the belly, which is udra vegam, and upast means urges of the genitals. So one who can control all these 6 urges, he can make disciples all over the world, mode of goodness, and apply this verse and internalize it in his life. Then he can make disciples. And such a person is also called sober person. So does anybody know, like, sober where, like, in Bhagavad Gita, like in some places sober word is used, sober person. Anybody? Or in Hindi it is called dhir.
Hello.
Mm, I cannot hear him. Are you able to?
Yeah. Say no. I also can't hear him. Rajat Prabhu, can you hear us?
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, we can hear now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about today. Please bear with me. So in Bhagavad Gita, basically there is a verse, Deho nasmin yatha dehe kamaram yavaptir tiras tatrinam
Yeah.
uyati. So in this verse, there is a word
No,
used. Yes, Deepak.
no, nothing, Prabhu.
So Dhira means sober person, and a person who is not bewildered by the change of death, because ultimately we are spirit, soul, and when we change our bodies, then if we are not disturbed, then that person becomes a Dhira. So that is a very high definition of Dhira, and this is another definition which is not very high but very basic definition, that if we are able to control our mind and senses, then we are a Dhira. So let us dive deeper into this verse. How Prabhupada frames the purport. So basically, in this verse, we will talk about how Parikshit Maharaj. Prabhupada didn't mention that Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question to Sukdev Goswami, that atonement is not sufficient. Like, for example, if people they commit uh, they commit some murder, they are put into jail, right? And after 20 years, 25 years, when they come out of the jail, they again do the murder. So putting them to the jail was not sufficient. And there are similar examples which Parikshit Maharaj is giving. So what is the real atonement? And we'll find that the real atonement is ultimately awakening of Krishna consciousness. And then basically, like Prabhupada mentions various ways in which we can cultivate Krishna consciousness. So first, easier way, like easier maybe like if you don't get association of devotees, then you can cultivate Krishna consciousness by Gyan Yoga. Tapsa brahmacharena shamena cha damena cha tyagena satya sauchabhyam yamena niyamena va. And then after that, basically first trying to emphasize on the importance of awakening of Krishna consciousness. Then Srila Prabhupada starts with describing all the six Vegas. And the six Vegas start with Vacha Vega. So then first Vachamikam, then Mansa Vegam, then Krodh Vegam, then Udra Vegam, then Upastha Vegam. So like this, all the six Vegas Prabhupada will describe. So this is the overall flow of the first verse. That first, like in the last session, we read the preface, and then Prabhupada is mentioning that Parikshit Maharaj is asking the question that I see that people are doing prayashchit, but it is not actually helping them really, because they are again committing the same sinful activity. So it doesn't look like that the prayashchit is the ultimate solution and it is solving the problem from the root. So for example, if you have a boil, right? Suppose you have some skin issue and you are having a corn on the skin, and you take allopathic medicine, and maybe the corn is gone from that place, but it arises at your knee. It goes from the toe, it arises at the knee. So like this, if you're taking the allopathic medicine, like the corns are getting out, but you are getting new corns. So it means that the disease is not cured from the root. So, but when you take Ayurvedic medicine, then it basically addresses the root, and then you don't have any more corns. So like this, Parikshit Maharaj is looking for asking to Sukdev Goswami for a solution which addresses the problem from the root. And then in that, the answer to that is that only awakening of Krishna consciousness is the real atonement. So every living entity has some dormant Krishna consciousness in his heart, and that can be awakened by when he comes in contact with devotees, when he comes in contact with devotional, spiritual things like prasadam or maybe kirtan or maybe some loving exchange with a devotee. So that bhakti shakti acts when through that devotee, when a conditioned living entity entity comes in contact with that devotee. So then, when you get some auspicious taste, it happens on a subtle level actually, and when you experience that taste on a subtle level, then you develop a taste for doing some spiritual activity. For example, taking prasadam, or maybe participating in kirtan. For example, there are many devotees here who like kirtan. So once you develop taste for kirtan, then you participate more, and then you want to stay in that relationship with Krishna through kirtan. So like this, basically, this that's why Prabhupada is mentioning that Parikshit Maharaj's question, that there is a need of awakening Krishna consciousness in the society, so that problems can be addressed from the root. And then he goes on, like he describes the first Vegam, Vacha Vegam, and then he describes the Manasa Vegam, and then he describes Krodh Vegam, and finally he describes Jivva Vegam, Udar Vegam, Upasth Vegam. And finally, the conclusion is that if one is able to control all these Vegas, then he can become a qualified guru. And finally, like by quoting a Prahlad Maharaj prayer, Prabhupada is establishing that if you can't control your mind and senses, then there is no no chance of attaining Krishna consciousness. There is no chance of realization of Krishna. So that is the conclusion which Prabhupada ends the verse with. So yeah, let us see how it goes. Now we will dive deeper into each of these sections. Yeah, basically this is the overall like plan. So first we will start with Vacha Begum, right? So we can do an activity where we can basically, you have to mention one instance where speaking resulted in good speaking resulted in good consequences, and one instance where bad speaking resulted in bad consequences. Bad consequences means like maybe a fight or anger or something. So maybe you can take 2 minutes and think about this. And after that, we will cover Vachavegam in detail and Manasavegam also. Okay. So did everybody get the question?
No, Prabhu. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. So basically, like in your daily life, you must be interacting with a lot of devotees, lot of family members, and sometimes you speak something which is nice, which is in a very palatable way, and sometimes you speak like the speech might not be in place. So can you give one example each of both, like so where, or even if you don't want to give your example, you can give some other friend's example also. So one example of where he spoke nicely, and one example where he did not speak so nicely. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, like when I completed my 16 rounds early in the morning,
Yeah.
so I'll speak, talk with and speak with everyone in a nice way or in a very decent way, because it's very sad. It's my satisfaction I completed my 16 rounds in early. But
Yeah.
when I'm not completing my 16 rounds in early in the morning or like
Yeah.
12 or noon, so my voice is like sometimes angry or sometimes not very good for everyone.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So take time, take maybe 2 minutes, and then speak. So just like Prabjit Prabhu has said, if he is chanting all the 16 rounds in the morning, then his speech is very good, and everybody is very appreciative of his speech. But if he is not able to do his sadhana nicely, then basically he like it results in some angry speech, and like others are not happy. So like this, others can also think, and maybe after 1 minute we'll discuss. Yeah, I think we are 1 minute is over, so Bharti can start.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It's from my experience only. When I discuss Krishna stories with my son Arav, then he's so curious and he sometimes asks so many questions from me about Krishna only. Uh, and at the same time, I'm amazed that in fact my knowledge is so small. I'm so small. That I was not able to give up all the answer of his question only. So when we discuss about Krishna, he himself asked so many questions. Why Mama Dwarika Nagari is submerged in water? What happened then? In fact, I myself didn't know all the answer of these questions. And at the same time, I feel that sometime in anger, I spoke ill words, matlab, not so good word. And after some time, he himself spoke those words to me also. So this is the way of speaking. Matters a lot how you behave with others in your daily life.
Yeah, thank you very much. What goes around comes around. Basically,
Yeah.
the way you will behave with your children, like later the same way they will behave with you. So
Mm.
yeah, this is very important. Like the subject matter of speaking. If the subject matter is about Krishna, then you can have lot of wonders, lot of wonderful conversation you can have, and it will be very elevating to the consciousness also. And as you are saying that sometimes you are not able to answer the questions, so it is now your duty to study the subject matter nicely and then present it to your children. In that way, like they will be more that their eagerness will continue to grow, and your Krishna consciousness will also continue to grow. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead, Deepak.
Yeah, when I'm discussing Gita or other spiritual books like Bhagavatam and all, then I notice that I'm very happy and words also come very nicely and I'm talking very softly and everything. Uh, so that is about a positive of speaking. And negative, when I talk too much, like not controlling my tongue, and when I'm talking too much, like about others or something, then I notice that a lot of lies also come automatically when you're talking a lot. So it's good to limit the talking. That is the negative of speaking, I think.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Thank you, Deepak.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's all about it's all about our consciousness, like how we maintain our consciousness. Yeah, yes, bro. This is our lifelong goal. So yeah, this is very good point. As Deepak is, I think the first point was regarding the subject only, that if he is speaking about Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, naturally he becomes humble, he becomes gentle, soft, and he wants to speak. So naturally, because we have that respect and regard, awe and reverence for Krishna, so naturally he feels that respect. He feels that love and compassion of the Lord also, right? And the second part, which he's saying, that when he doesn't basically speak about Krishna, then then basically he's saying that sometimes he speaks too much. So that's why it is recommended that whenever we are not talking about Krishna, then we should speak as much as it is required. So now we will read like what is Vachavegam, because speaking is generally very difficult to control, because our mind is always agitated and our tongue is directly proportional to the state of our mind. So we should always cool down our mind and then speak whatever is necessary. We should not speak much. But about Krishna, if a discussion is going on, you can keep on speaking. Just like our group is there, we have a 2 hour session, and everybody shares Krishna Katha in his own way, right? Yeah. So speaking as much as like whatever is needed. Utility is the principle, right? So that is very important. Yes, Ravi, bro.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. No, it's okay. I thought that we are talking about Krodh Vega, so I thought that we have to describe when we got into wrong things while not able to control our anger, and when we are able to control our anger. So I thought the question was that. So I was speaking on that, but it's okay. I think we are talking about Vach Vega, so वाचविका के बारे में मैं अभी
more
नहीं कुछ
about
बोल रहा हूँ, but yes, it is
it's
very
more about
essential
speech
that
right now.
yeah. So that is why I mistook it as Krodh Vega. That's okay. Later we
No
will talk
problem,
about
no
it.
problem. So basically, like this, yeah, yeah. So this exercise is to make all of you understand that there is some distinction between good speech and bad speech, and good speech can be actually elevating to others' consciousness also. So speech, actually, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasnam chayava vangmayam tapochyate. So these are the austerities of speech. Anudvega karam vakyam. Anudveg means which doesn't agitate the mind of others. And satyam priyam hitam. So it should be truthful, it should be priyam, palatable, and it should be beneficial for the other person. Hitam. So swadhyaya, and we should recite from scriptures. Then we will get such speech. So these are all good. Basically, speech is also in different modes, and this is transcendental mode of goodness speech. So like this, we can improve our speech also. Yeah. So this activity was basically to make you understand that there is a difference between good speech and bad speech. Yeah. So now we will so then we will basically discuss Manasa Vegam and Krodh Vegam. And there also we will do one more activity where I think Ravi Bro, you can continue. So yeah, so we start with this Praschita, that after like telling the story of Parikshit Maharaj, Prabhupada comes to this conclusion that a sinful activity cannot be counteracted by a pious activity. So the real Praschita is the awakening of our dormant Krishna consciousness. And that's why we should never basically do sinful activities on the strength of chanting. So that is even more grave. You will never get real taste of chanting if you think that I'm chanting 4 rounds, so let me eat meat or let me drink alcohol or let me enjoy with girls. So that will be even more grievous offense. You will not be able to you will never awaken your Krishna consciousness. That is called namno balad yasi papa buddhir. So here one more example is there that Christians, they for 6 days they do all the activities, sinful activities in their home, and after when the Sunday comes, then they go to church and they feel very guilty, and in front of the priest they say that I am such a sinful person. Please ask Jesus Christ to forgive me. So then the clerk, the clergy of the church, he says, okay, the Jesus Christ has forgiven you, and then they feel a little bit lighter at heart. But after coming back home, they do the same sinful activities. So what does that mean? Anybody? What is this Christian program which I just mentioned? Does it happen with anybody of you also? Like we are feeling guilt after doing something, and then we want to repent, but again we do the same thing even after repenting.
I think in anger, speaking bad words,
Yeah. So that,
then
yeah.
yeah.
So you got the Christian example, right? So they are not able to get rid of their bad habit. And as Nidhi is saying that in our life that bad habit can be anger. That okay, today I screamed over my children. Maybe after 1 week also, same thing happened. So like this, basically we need more resources, more positive energy has to come, more devotional support should be there, and how to take shelter of Krishna, that we have to learn. When we start taking shelter of Krishna, start hearing the sound vibration, start chanting, start offering, then basically we will access the positive energy, and that spiritual energy will increase, and then slowly our bad habits will decrease. So it is a lifelong project basically. And there is an article by Bhaktivinoda Thakur on retraction of bad habits, in which Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that a good habit which is practiced for 2 months continuously, at least like over like 3-4 days, you observe that you are able to practice it, then it becomes a real habit. And if it is if it is of any shorter period, then you might be in the gray zone. So it takes time to cultivate good habits, especially the sanskaras which we have, right? So lot of resources and lot of energy is required. And commitment to Guru and Krishna, that also helps. Once you are surrendered to Krishna, once you are surrendered to Guru, and Guru's mercy is flowing in your life, then you can reform yourself. You can attune. You can awaken your Krishna consciousness. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So this is the definition of Vachavigam. In short, it is called urge to speak. Okay. So can somebody read this? What Prabhupada says about Vachavigam?
I'll read out.
Yeah. Good.
Urge to speak. First, one must control his speaking power. Every one of us has the power of speech. As soon as we get an opportunity, we begin to speak. If we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about all sorts of nonsense. A toad in a field speaks by croaking, and similarly, everyone who has a tongue wants to speak, even if all he has to say is nonsense. The croaking of the toad, however, simply invites the snake. Please come here and eat me. Nevertheless, although it is inviting death, the toad goes on croaking. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yeah, so this is what we were discussing, that if you are discussing Krishna Katha, you should discuss as much as you want. You can spend even 3-4 hours. On Saturday, Sunday, actually we should do this only. We should read, we should chant, we should discuss what we have read. And we should discuss our realization, we should express our realization. And that then our life will become more and more happy, blissful and satisfied. So we will not be too much hankering or lamenting over things. That spiritual energy will be there if we discuss Krishna Katha. But if we do not discuss topics which are connected to Krishna, then our speaking is just like a toad, which is just inviting the snake to eat him. So that's why whenever we don't speak things related to Krishna, we have to be very careful that we speak as much as the service requires. For example, sometimes we have to deal with our family members who are not devotees, or if we have to go to office, we have to deal with our colleagues and manager. So we should speak as much as it is required. And a devotee is very, very conscious of the other person's consciousness also. So once your Krishna consciousness is good, then you will know what to speak and in which situation. So that is the essence, that we should not speak unnecessarily, as Deepak also mentioned that point, that when we are not speaking connected to Krishna, then we should speak bare minimum, which is helpful for that matter. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this is the solution. Anybody wants to read? Bharti, you want to read?
Yeah, sure. Vachovegam. Solution. The meaning of controlled speech conveyed by Srila Rupa Goswami advocates the positive process of Krishna Katha, engaging the speaking process in glorifying the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. The tongue can thus glorify the name, form, qualities, and pastime of the Lord. The preacher of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. This is the significance of controlling the urge to speak. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is very important line actually. The preacher of Krishna Katha is always beyond the clutches of death. So Prabhupada used to say that if you dedicate your entire life in preaching the message of Krishna consciousness, then actually you are beyond the cycle of birth and death. And how? Because you are always thinking that how to communicate this message of Krishna to other conditioned souls. So in that thinking process only, that thinking process liberates you and make you achieve the spiritual world. So there is a verse in Chetan Charitamrita, right? Nama Chintamani Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinitvam Nama Namino. So this holy name actually it's like a deity of Krishna. Nama Chintamani Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. So it is full of nectar. It is a deity of nectar. Purna Shuddha, Nitya Mukta. So when you chant the holy name, then you become completely purified and you become eternally liberated. Abhinitvam Nama Namino. So this holy name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna, Abhinitvam. And in this holy name, actually, all name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord are present. So that's how, if we discuss these things, For example, before starting this session, I gave some context that who is Rupa Goswami, what is Nectar of Instruction. So when we glorify the acharyas, when we understand how they executed their lives, then actually we that is Krishna Katha, because glorification of devotees of Krishna is equivalent to devotees of glorification of Krishna. So those realizations we should tell each other, and that's why like I want to make this session more interactive. Like whenever if you want to like make any comment, if you like want to share any realization, you can raise your hand and you can share. So it's very important to to discuss, to be eager to discuss Krishna Katha, and that can actually pull you out of the cycle of birth and death. Okay, any comments on this? This is very important slide.
I want to share one of realization just happened few days back with me. Uh,
Yeah.
I worked one on in office. I worked on one of the task, and for that task, at my onshore, someone appreciated some other person. So initially, I got angry, but at the same time, I thought like I'm just working for to make Krishna happy, and immediately that anger vanished away, and again I was again happy. So that was one of the realization just happened few days back with me.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, this is envy only actually. So because we are envious of Krishna, that envy reflects in envy towards other living entities also. And this envy actually eats us. And ultimately, this envy is rooted into envy for ourselves, because we are envious of Krishna means we are envious of ourselves. So whenever somebody else gets profit, then we start thinking, oh, he should not get it. But we should have faith that Krishna has given them. And as Nidhi is saying, that as soon as you remember that I'm working for Krishna, and like it is okay, like it is Krishna's plan only that the other colleague is also getting praise and glories. So that is fine. Like we should be happy when other persons are happy. Prabhupada used to say, right, "Sarve sukhino bhavantu." So everybody should be happy. That is the goal of the movement. That everybody should be happy in whatever sadhana he is doing, whatever occupation duty he is doing. So very nice. Yeah. So that is the power of remembering Krishna. As soon as you remember Krishna, as soon as you remember the like services, the taste which you have in Krishna conscious activities, you are pulled out of your temporary situation. You will not feel the dualities of envy, lust, and anger, and greed, all those things. Thank you very much for sharing. Let's move on. So the next is Manasa Vegam. Okay, so in this, basically, there are two types of Manasa means mind, and Vega means urge. So there are two types of urges of mind. One is Virodha Yukta Krodha, and the other one is Avirodha Priti. So Virodha Yukta Krodha means anger arising from frustration. So sometimes we are too much frustrated, and because of that, we become very, very angry. And the second one is Avirodha Priti. So we have unrestricted attachment. For example, this Dhruv Maharaj story, his stepmother was too much attached to his own son, and because of that, he scolded Dhruv Maharaj. So that is an example of exhibiting anger because of unrestricted attachment. So both are wrong. Like we should not have too much attachment also, and we should not become too much frustrated also. If you are frustrated, then you should discuss and use resources like come to mode of goodness. So we should try to avoid both of them. And now we'll read that what both of these are. So anybody wants to read this quote? This is basically describing both the types of Mansa Vegam. Prabjit, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Go ahead, please.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As for the agitations of the flickering mind, they are divided into two divisions. The first is called Avirodha Priti or unrestricted attachment, and the other is called Virodha Yukta Krodha, anger arising from frustration. Adherents to the philosophy of Mayavadi believe in the fruitive results of the karma vadis, and belief in plans based on materialistic desires are called avirodha priti. Gyanis, karmis, and materialistic plan makers generally attract the attention of conditioned soul. But when the materialists cannot fulfill their plans and when their devices are frustrated, they become angry. Frustration of material desires produces anger. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So you can read slowly and yeah, but you read nicely. Thank you. Yeah, so basically, like, for example, these days, yeah, people say that, like, ISRO people say that they have gone to moon and they have landed the Chandrayaan, right? So, and people say that we will make everything automated, we will make everything ML based, all the employment will be cut from the people. So these are all materialistic desires. Or people or scientists say that we will make you, uh, like, we will overcome death, we will provide a solution for death. So these are all actually belief in plans which are called avirod priti. So they have unrestricted attachment towards a certain conception of life, and they are not actually able to achieve that conception at all. If you see the, like, proposition of scientists, like, for last 50 years they have been proposing that we will reach moon, we will conquer death, but they are not able to do anything. Instead, the diseases are increasing, the climatic calamities are increasing. So it is because the Kali Yuga is moving fast, and so scientists, they don't believe in God at all, and they don't follow anything, and they just make their own plans. So this is all because of their unrestricted attachment, because they don't have any real happiness. So they are looking for happiness in some plan, and that is their misfortune. Yeah. So obviously, like, when they always try to go to moon, and scriptures clearly say that without proper qualification you cannot go to moon. So they will not be able to go to moon, whether you send out Chandrayaan or you send out any other space shuttle. But like, if you are not qualified, Krishna will not let you enter into the atmosphere of that planet actually. So there are, like, subtle laws, the God made laws which act in these things. So if you are not following scriptures, and if you don't accept the authority, then obviously you will become frustrated if you are always making your own plan. So that's why, like, in our life also, we should not make too much of our plans, but we should consult the authorities, and then make plans according to Krishna's plans. That will reduce our manasa vegam. Like, basically, as I have told, that the recommended things to do is hearing and chanting, and the things which are inhibited are mental speculation and fruitive activities. So we should not do too much speculation, but we should just, whenever speculation is happening, then we should discuss with devotees whether it is speculation or on the basis of scriptures. Okay, understood? Any question on this? This is Manasa Vegam solution. And this is happening with Arjuna also on the battlefield, right? So Arjuna wants to enjoy the kingdom with his family members, and instead he's getting frustrated because he's seeing his family members on the battlefield, and he will have to kill them. Yeah. So somebody raised their hand. Yeah, Ravi Prabhu. Yes, good.
Yeah, Prabhu, this Chandrayaan thing which has reached moon, and India is celebrating in all way, and Modi ji is also trying to encash the things. But in our Vedas, and even Prabhupada says that it is not possible for us to reach moon. Moon is a higher planet than sun, and it is all futile efforts and claims that we can touch moon. So what is this contradictory?
Yeah, there's no contradiction. Basically, this is all false. Whatever they have put up that they have reached by Chandrayaan, that's false actually. And it's a very big lie. And these things have happened in the past also. Even Americans also did a moon landing, farce moon landing. So yeah, there is no contradiction. Basically, whatever is given in scriptures, that is That is our quota only. So we can't reach moon with our this body, this material senses. We have to
Okay.
qualify ourselves to reach. Yeah.
Yeah, because they are sharing photographs, they are sharing stuff like on moon and stuff like that. Although they don't understand anything, even the nature of soil, the presence
Comedy,
of
right? Like
water.
they are making some cartoon video, and after that, nobody comedy has. Uh, what is Chandrayaan? What happened to Chandrayaan? What are the subsequent lands? So yeah, it's a very pathetic situation actually. Now people will say that who should we trust? If the government is lying, then what is the scope of
True,
trust?
true. That's the highest
And
governance level, yeah, of any society. That's the highest governance level, government.
yeah, correct. Okay, I think we did not go very deep into this. Yeah. So this is the solution for Manasa Vegam. So till now we were discussing the problem, which is Avirodh Yukta Krodha and Avirodh Priti. Virodh Yukta Krodha and Avirodh Priti. So when we practice Krishna consciousness and when we remember Krishna and when we keep Krishna in our mind, then that will increase the light. So how to like introduce light in a dark room? Anybody?
By switching on the button, light button. Yes.
Yeah, so basically we have to let the sunlight come in, right? So we have to switch on the source of the light. So we can't pump the darkness somewhere else. So we can't like we can't get rid of darkness by pumping it out. We have to bring in the positive energy, then only negative energy will decrease. So that is positive process. So when we can increase the positive energy, then automatically the negative energy will go away. So this verse is the famous verse. All of you should learn this verse. कृष्णा सूर्य समा माया है अंधकार यहाँ कृष्णा तहाँ नहीं माया राधिकार. So if you keep Krishna always in the fort of the mind, so the mind is compared to a fort and Krishna is compared to a soldier. If Krishna is there within your mind, then there is no chance of Maya attacking in your mind. So Krishna is just like the sun and Maya is just like darkness. If the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Similarly, if Krishna is present in the mind, there is no possibility of the minds being agitated by Maya's influence. The yogic process of negating all material thoughts will not help. To try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. The vacuum will not remain. However, if one always thinks of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best, one's mind will naturally be controlled. Okay. So vacuum you cannot create. You cannot pump with a cycle pump. मतलब darkness को pump करके बाहर नहीं निकाल सकते. But actually we have to bring in Krishna, the positive energy, and then automatically Maya will go away. So for example, the story of Haridas Thakur is the most classic one, right? So when the prostitute asked him that you should satisfy me, then Haridas Thakur said that let me fulfill my vow, let me complete my rounds, the vow which I have given to my Guru, and then I will satisfy you. And after he completed the vow, the positive energy was so high and was so transforming to the heart of the prostitute that the prostitute even said, Ki, I don't want to enjoy, I want to take initiation from you. Instruct me in Krishna Nam. So this is the this is the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So like this, if we can have faith in the instructions of our Guru and our senior devotees, then we can do wonders. Okay, any question or discussion on this? This is the solution for both the urges of the mind. Okay, we'll go next. So the next is Jiva Vegam, and it is very easy. The definition is like most of the activity which we are doing by the tongue is eating. And so how to regulate our eating? And in other words, how to make the eating as Krishna conscious. So this is the solution. Yeah, anybody wants to read this? Who has not read? Deepak, have you read?
No, I can read.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Rajat, I think I can see the previous screen only. Prabhupada quote.
Yeah, this is the screen, no?
As for the agitations of the flickering mind, this one. This we already read, no?
You have to read. Uh, yeah, this one we have to read. We did not read.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You are seeing this one. Just a second.
Yeah, I can see Prabhupada quote that slide only. As for yeah.
Sorry. Actually, I did not change the slide. I was changing on some other slide. So this was the solution for Mansa Vega, and now we are on to Jiva Vega. So in Jiva Vega, there is the definition is like the activity of eating, and now this is the solution.
Okay, got it. If we can practice accepting only remnants of food offered to Krishna, it is possible to get free from Maya's victimization. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk products, and water are proper foods to offer to the Lord, as Lord Krishna himself prescribes. However, if one accepts prasada only because of its palatable taste and thus eats too much, he also falls prey to trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us to avoid very palatable dishes even while eating prasada. If we offer palatable dishes to the deity with the intention of eating such nice food, we are involved in trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. If we accept the invitation of a rich man with the idea of receiving palatable food, we are also trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya 6.227, it is stated, Jihvara lalase ye iti utidhaya Shishnodara Parayana Krishna Nahi Paya. That person who runs here and there seeking to gratify his palate and who is always attached to the desires of his stomach and genitals is unable to attain Krishna. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा. सो तुम IIT दिल्ली में फिर वहाँ जाते थे ना, क्या नाम था, मतलब रात में 2 बजे बन बटर खाते.
Yes.
तो ये वही
Yeah,
वो
yes.
वाली स्थिति इसी में आती है.
Yes.
तो ये बड़ा स्ट्रेंज है, मतलब हम लोग कभी भी, चाहे हमारे पास व्हीकल ना भी हो, चाहे 4-5 किलोमीटर दूर भी जाना है, लेकिन अगर हमारी टंग हमें कह रही है तो हम चले जाएंगे. और हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हम बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, मतलब अपने सेंसेस को सेटिस्फाई कर रहे हैं, लेकिन बट एक्चुअल द रियल ट्रूथ इज वी आर कंट्रोल्ड बाय आवर सेंसेस. द टंग इज पुशिंग अस टू रन 10 kilometers and we are running. So like this, basically, prasadam also we should regulate, whatever, just like the YouTube question which Mataji asked in the last session, right? So similarly here also, like whatever good prasadam you should eat. And if you want some specific sweets or some good prasadam more, then you can eat maybe once a week or twice a week or maybe once a day. So like that but prasadam you should take only prasadam, and that will help you to regulate your eating and your health also. You know?
Yes.
So one pastime, basically, like prasad is always very nice. Most of us come to Krishna consciousness only because of prasadam only. So I will tell you a story. Like one time there was Srila Prabhupada who was taking prasadam with 3 of his disciples. And like they were taking prasadam very nicely because the prasadam was very nice. So Prabhupada said to one of the disciple, actually this prasadam is very nice and Krishna is very merciful. Actually, I came to so then he asked one of his first disciple that what is the best thing you like in Krishna consciousness? So the disciple said, Prabhupada, prasad is very nice. So then the second disciple Prabhupada asked that, what made you to come to Krishna consciousness? So the second disciple also said, yes, Prabhupada, everything, kirtan is good, book distribution is good, preaching is also good, but without prasadam, I cannot conceive of Krishna consciousness. And then like this third disciple also, Prabhupada asked that, what is the best thing? He said, Prabhupada, prasadam is the best. And then they were laughing, all of them, they were very happily and laughingly eating. And then all of them, they asked Prabhupada, what made you to come into Krishna consciousness? So what was the answer which Prabhupada gave? Anybody knows? Anybody wants to guess? Yeah, Deepak, you want to say something?
No, I am thinking Krishna chanting only, naming name of Krishna. I don't know. I'm
No,
guessing.
Prabhupada.
Preparing prasadam for everyone.
No, no. Prabhupada also
Should
said.
I guess?
Guess no.
Yeah, God.
I think Prabhupada might have said that to
Hmm.
make people like you to come in the right direction or something like that, to make you people like you to come the right direction. I came in Krishna consciousness, something like that. I don't know.
No, no, no. Prabhupada also said ki only this Krishna Prasadam brought me to Krishna consciousness. I like the Prasadam, that's why I came to Krishna consciousness. So the Prasadam is so nice. In so many lectures, Prabhupada is telling that this change of taste is a proof that Krishna has tasted this food by his own lotus lips. So every time he's emphasizing so much, and that is the tattva actually. The Krishna tattva you can experience from the Prasadam also. So Prabhupada was always very, very particular about prasadam. He used to like kachodis. He used to like puffed up rotis. So he used to take a lot of prasadam, very, very like with a lot of eagerness and happiness, spiritual happiness. Okay, thank you for your participation. So the next is Udara Vegam. So Udara means belly, basically the stomach. So this, I'll read this. So this contains both the definition and the solution. So those who suffer from diseases of the stomach must be unable to control the urges of the belly, at least according to this analysis. When we desire to eat more than necessary, we automatically create many inconveniences in life. However, if we observe fasting days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami, we can restrain the demands of the belly. Jivara lalsa ye iti uti dhaye, shisno dara parana Krishna nahi paye. So I think this is that person who runs here and there seeking to gratify. This is same from the previous slide. But basically, the definition is this, that we have to eat in a regulated manner. It is said that we should take breakfast like a king, and we should take lunch like a normal person, and we should take dinner like a beggar. Then our body will be good. And there are other sayings also. For example, we should take only half the stomach. So once the stomach gets half filled, then we should not take more than that, because 1/4 of the stomach we have to leave for air and 1/4 of the stomach for water. So then our digestion will be perfect. So whenever we are eating, we should think that whether I'm feeling hungry or is it just the tongue because of which I'm eating. So we should be very careful. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, next is the Udra, like Upasita Begum. And as I mentioned in the last session, that like if you can follow first 4 verses of Nectar of Instruction, then your life will be very healthy and happy. Like diseases will reduce a lot, because this human body, it's not meant for a lot of sense gratification. For example, if there is elephant body, right, then you can eat 1 ton of rice. But in human body, you can eat some particular amount of rice only, and that much sense there is a quota for each person to have sense gratification. So one more thing I wanted to tell, that in this, as Prabhupada is saying, that prasadam we should take in limited amount only, and we should not take a lot of palatable prasadam. So Chanakya Pandit says that a grahastha should be satisfied always with these 3 things. What are these 3 things? The wealth which is coming on his path, the food which is coming on his path, and the third one is wife. So wife, wealth, and food, whatever Krishna is arranging, Agrahastha should be satisfied with that, because there is a particular quota according to which these things are arranged in our life. So we should be happy and satisfied in that quota. And 3 things we should never be satisfied are: first is chanting of the holy name. Second is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means our study of scriptures. And third is dana. Dana means doing charity, giving some money to brahmanas, to Vaishnavas, for propagating Krishna consciousness movement. So that is basically this we should increase more and more. And that will strengthen our understanding of Krishna consciousness. These are very nice dharmic principles given by Chanakya Pandit. Chanakya Pandit has a book known as Chanakya Niti. send that. Okay. And when we observe fasting, then automatically our system is adjusted. Like whatever overeating little bit if we are doing, whatever senses are not controlled, so that is compromised by observance of Ekadashi. So observing festivals and Ekadashi is very important for making advancement in Krishna consciousness, and then controlling our urges of the belly. Any questions on this? Yeah.
I don't have a question. I say something on this. There
Yeah.
is a verse in Bhagavad Gita. I think it's 15.15. If we have any stomach issue or stomach disease, if we have not a proper digestion, so I think I heard from somewhere. If we read this verse, we have put our hand on stomach and we read it 7 times in a day. So our digestion will be good and our disease will be gone. It's anything like that.
Yeah. So whatever, yeah. So in the 14th verse of 15th chapter, Krishna says that I am the Jatragni inside the stomach, right? So this is very good question. So if Jatragni is low, then obviously you have to eat lesser. So according to your Jatragni. But if you provide good amount of love to your stomach by touching it or whatever, like, so it is said, like, there is a psychology principle also. Whatever you give love, that thing grows, right? So if you provide love to the stomach, then Jatragni might increase, and that might help in digestion. But yeah, like, it depends from person to person. There are many Ayurvedic nuskas also which people adopt to stimulate their digestion. For example, some people take neem leaves before starting the meal, uh, so that stimulates digestion. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you for asking this question. Digestion is a very big topic. Actually, there are a lot of Ayurvedic books you can consult. What to eat when, and how to eat. Yeah. Yeah, Ravi Prabhu, you want to contribute? Okay, no. Okay, let's continue then. So I think we are closing to our. Just a second. Yeah, so the last one is the most hot topic, and yeah, let's discuss this. Let's try to discuss this. Yeah, Ravi Bro, we want to read.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Upastha Vegam. Okay.
Mm.
As far as the urges of the genitals are concerned, there are two: proper and improper, or legal and illicit sex. When a man is properly when a man is properly mature, he can marry according to the rules and regulations of the Shastras and use his genitals for begetting nice children. That is legal and religious. Otherwise, he may adopt many artificial means to satisfy the demands of the genitals, and he may not use any restraint. When one indulges in illicit sex life as defined in the Shastras, either by thinking, planning, talking uh, about, or actually having sexual intercourse, or by satisfying the genitals by artificial means, he is caught in the clutches of Maya. These illustrations apply not only to the householders but also to the Tyagis, or those who are in the renounced order of life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, this is very important that we should indulge in sexual activities only for begetting Krishna conscious children. And for that also, the consciousness of parents should be very good. Like, they should be absorbed in Krishna. In 16th chapter, Prabhupada writes that we should not beget children like cats and dogs. We should beget children by being absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So you can absorb yourself in Krishna consciousness by chanting more rounds. Prabhupada recommends that you should chant 50 rounds before begetting children on that particular day. And you should invite Brahmanas also to serve them. And then you tell them that we are planning to beget Krishna conscious children. So like this, there is a samskara, there is a havan which happens in the home, and then parents do this. So this is a public affair. This is not a private affair. And for only begetting Krishna conscious children, this basically this sexual activity should be done, because like human life is meant for spiritual advancement. We should not waste our energy in unnecessarily. So there is a verse in Bhagavatam also, kamasya nendriya priti labho jiveta yavata. So we can read that verse today. Just. So our human life motto is to have simple living, high thinking. And how can we have simple living if we keep on thinking about the opposite sex? So the opposite sex, we should not think. Basically, we should think about Krishna. We should take association of devotees, take prasadam, and actually, whenever some dirty thoughts are coming, then we should chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. When our lustful thoughts can be transformed into loveful thoughts for Krishna. So lust can be transformed into love for Krishna. So this is the words of Bhagavatam. That kamasya nendriya pritir labho jiveta yavata jivasya tattva jigyasa nartho yasceha karmabhi. Life's desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's works. So yeah, like people might ask that we might have to leave so many things, we might have to go against the society. But this is what scripture says. Like, this is how you can live a life which is full of happiness and satisfaction. Go to bed early in the night, rise early in the morning, and chant with devotees, do Mangal Arati, and do some occupational duty which is mode of goodness. And then in the evening also, hear Bhagavad Gita, take association of devotees, and go to bed early, take prasadam. So in this way, your Krishna consciousness will develop more. Your mind will be more and more enlivened. Good, healthy tissues which can think of spiritual life. That where I am going, where I am coming from, what advancement right now I've made, what are my sanskaras. So all these things we will be able to introspect when we don't waste our energy in these things in the sexual activities, but rather utilize it in Krishna's service. So there is this verse, right? Krishna Indriya Pritir Tare Prem Naam, basically. Atma Indriya Pritir Tare Bole Kam, and Krishna Indriya Pritir Tare Prem Naam. So when we do things for the satisfaction of our own senses, that is just lust. Tare Bole Kam, so that is called lust. And when we do things for satisfaction of Krishna, then that is Prem Naam. So that will give love for God, and that is the goal of life, Krishna Prema. So that's why we have to act for the pleasure of Krishna under the guidance of devotees in the devotee association. Then we will reach our goal. Yeah. So I'll just. And actually, so we have to monitor our thoughts also. Like thinking, feeling, and willing are the three functions of our subtle body. That how much we are staying away from this, because like all the four regulative principles, they can be actually obeyed in a very deep manner. Like no meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication. For example, no intoxication. It can be applied while taking prasadam also. So while prasadam also, you are not basically you are honoring the prasadam. You are not exploiting it. So that will save you from intoxication. And no illicit sex means that you should not even think also about the other women. So other women, every other woman should be our mother, basically. Matravat paradareshu, loshtavat paradrivyani, atmavat sarvabhuteshu, ya karoti sa pandita. So we should we should train our mind in such a way that we respect every other woman as a mother. That's why in ISKCON we call all the females as Matajis. But this is Vedic culture actually, because like women used to dress like that. They used to wear Vedic clothing, good nice sari, and very cultural, right? So they used to command respect. And obviously then when women used to carry themselves like that, then people used to respect and they used to think them like that, like mothers, and a lot of like respect and affection feelings were there. But now if women are also not carrying themselves like that, so like people are also inviting exploiting them. So yeah, we should try to stick to Vedic culture. That will help us in practicing Krishna consciousness in easier manner. Okay, any question on this? Any sharing? So let us read the conclusion. Just a second. Conclusion, anybody wants to read? Deepak.
Yeah, I can read.
So this is the conclusion of today's verse. Today we are completing the first verse.
Okay. The conclusion is that one who can control these 6 items speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals is to be called a Swami or Goswami. Swami means master, and Goswami means master of the go or senses. When one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title of Swami. This does not mean that he is the master of his family, community, or society. He must be master of his senses. Unless one is the master of his senses, he should not be called Goswami, but Godasa, servant of the senses. Following in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, all Swamis and Goswamis should fully engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As opposed to this, the Godasas engage in the service of the senses or in the service of the material world. They have no other engagement. Prahlada Maharaja has further described the Godasa or Adanta Go, which refers to one whose senses are not controlled. An Adanta Go cannot become a servant of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.30, Prahlada Maharaja has said, Matirna Krishne Parata Swato va Mithobhyupadyate Grihe Vritanam Adanta Gobhir Vishatam Tamisram Puna Punascharvita Charvananam. For those who have decided to continue their existence in this material world for the gratification of their senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious, not by personal endeavor, by instruction from others, or by joint conferences. They are dragged by the unbridled senses into the darkest region of ignorance, and thus they madly engage in what is called chewing the chewed.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Very nicely read. So this is very important. Again and again, Prabhupada is emphasizing on the importance of controlling the senses. And that's why all these spiritual masters in ISKCON are called Maharaja. So what does it mean, Maharaja? Anybody knows? Yeah, Prabhjeet, go ahead.
Maybe it's a ruler or king of any palace, like a ruler or king of our senses.
Yeah, correct. So basically, a king knows whatever is going on in his kingdom. He कहते हैं ना कि चप्पा चप्पा जानता होता है राजा कि कौन सा सिपाही क्या कर रहा है. तो वैसे ही जो जो हमारे इस्कॉन के गुरु हैं उनको महाराज इसलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि उनको अपनी बॉडी का ही नहीं, उनको अपने डिसाइपल्स की बॉडी का भी पता है कि उनकी बॉडी में क्या चल रहा है, कौन सा सेंस कंट्रोल्ड है, कौन सा नहीं कंट्रोल्ड है. तो महाराजा इसलिए बोलते हैं उन्हें क्योंकि दे आर द किंग ऑफ सो मेनी पीपल, सो मेनी कंडीशन लिविंग बीइंग्स senses also. Or ultimately our senses belong to Krishna only, right? Rishikena Rishikesha Sevnam. So when we serve the senses of Krishna, then our senses become automatically satisfied. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevnam Bhakti Ruttama. So this is the highest highest form of bhakti. If we can just give up all our designation and just serve Krishna and try to satisfy his senses, then our senses become automatically satisfied. So that is the definition of bhakti. Yeah. And designations means like maybe you might be a brother, you might be a father, you might be son, you might be a like an employee of a company. So all these are temporary designations. These will come and go. Like after some time, you might not have that designation anymore. So these are temporary designations. But the permanent designation is of like Jivera Swarupe Krishnera Nityadas. We are eternal servants of Krishna, and when we serve Krishna in that eternal nature, then we receive reciprocation of Krishna, and our senses also become satisfied by that reciprocation. Yasmin Tushte Jagat Tushte. So, does anybody know the story of Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Yudhishthir in this context? How all the senses of this Durvasa Muni's, all the disciples got satisfied? Anybody remember?
No,
Bhartiya?
no.
Okay, no. Ravi Prabhu, Nidhi?
Yes,
No,
I do
Prabhu.
remember, uh, but I cannot recite it right now.
Ravi Prabhu, you wanted?
No, Prabhu, I couldn't get it. Can you just repeat?
So there is a story where Durvasa Muni was convinced by Duryodhan to trouble the Pandavas. And Durvasa Muni went to Yudhishthir Maharaj after Draupadi ate her evening meal. So
No, no,
basically,
no, I'm not able to.
Durvasa Muni always used. Yeah, no problem. I'll tell that. So Durvasa Muni always used to travel with his 10,000 disciples, and somehow Duryodhan pacified Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni is also an incarnation of Lord Shiva, which is Ashutosh. Ashutosh means very easily pacified and very easily angered. So, like Durvasa Muni was uh, very easily pacified by Duryodhan, and that's why Duryodhan convinced him to go to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And they were in Agyatwas, they were in the forest, living a very austere life. And they used to have some vessel known as Akshay Patra. So, like Duryodhan convinced Durvasa Muni to visit the Pandavas after the evening supper. And just after they finished the supper, Durvasa Muni came and he said, "Ki I have 10,000 disciples and we are feeling very hungry. So prepare something for us." And then he went with his 10,000 disciples to the lake. There was a nearby lake to take bath, so that they can get some time to prepare a feast. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was very, very worried that what will I do now? Like there are 10,000 people to serve, and since Draupadi had taken her meals, so Akshay Patra cannot basically produce more things. So finally, so basically, then Yudhishthir Maharaj fixed his consciousness on Krishna, and as soon as he fixed his consciousness, immediately Krishna appeared in front of Yudhishthir Maharaj, and Krishna said that, don't worry, Yudhishthir Maharaj, just see that vessel, Akshay Patra, there must be some small vegetable sticking to it. Just bring that vegetable. So Draupadi went and saw that there was some vegetable which was sticking. So she gave that vegetable to Krishna. And Krishna took that vegetable, and as soon as like Krishna took that vegetable, he was completely satisfied. And Durvasa Muni's 10,000 disciples, they were feeling full till the neck in the lake. So because Krishna became satisfied by taking that vegetable, so all the Durvasa Muni's disciples also, because Krishna is residing in their hearts also, he is the Jatragni of all those 10,000 disciples. So those also got satisfied, and they were having a burp actually, Dakar, because they were feeling full till the neck. So after this, basically, Krishna told Yudhishthir that tell him to call them for a feast and tell them that there is a very large feast which we have cooked. Please come. So Bhima went to the lake and he called Durvasa Muni and his disciples that please come. There is a very large feast cooked by Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Yudhishthir Maharaj was very worried that how can we tell a lie? But somehow he had trust on Krishna. And then Durvasa Muni was thinking that okay, Yudhishthir Maharaj is Dharmaraj, so he must have cooked very nicely for us, but we are feeling full. And if we don't eat, then he might feel angry. So they ran off to some other planet. They did not come back for having that feast. And thus, basically, in this pastime, we can see that if you satisfy Krishna, then everybody else became satisfied. So that is the principle, basically. If you offer bhoga to Krishna and you invite guests, you feed them prasadam, then everybody will be satisfied. All the guests will be satisfied. Okay. चलिए फिर आज के लिए इतना ही करते हैं. और कुछ. We'll start the second verse in the next class, and after that we will have our closed book assessment questions also. I will share in the next class. Any questions? नहीं ना? ठीक है. ठीक है. I think it was nice. मतलब because verse 1 has a 10-page long purport, and I don't think it is little bit difficult to read it on our own. So at least we covered this together today, and we have some discussions also. Okay, thank you very much for joining. We'll meet next Sunday, have some role plays, some group discussions, hopefully more. Yeah.
Prabhuji, just wanted to check, is this written by Rupa Goswami, na? Nectar of Instruction?
Yes. Rupa Goswami.
Yeah, Rupa Goswami. Yeah. Thank
So
you.
these slokas are given by Rupa Goswami, but the commentaries are given by Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay.
And I'm hoping that all of you must have bought this book.
I bought it from ISKCON temple long time back. I don't know. I don't have the soft copy. I have a small copy. It's a small book. It's not a big book.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very small book. How much did it cost?
I think 30 rupees or 40 rupees.
Yeah, it's only 30 rupees. So
Yeah,
please
30.
buy